Okay, how I survived the purge. Okay, then it's going.
Made in the purge.
Oh, the mistakes in the film.
I would have done differently in order to survive.
Okay, this is
The movie
perfect. This is
starts by
perfect.
greeting us with.
Have you guys watched this film? I have a little while ago. I believe it's actually on Netflix.
Security footage from previous.
You know what's the
purges.
Purge game?
Right away, the
Oh,
movie
mate.
establishes that this night is not a joke. People aren't.
You know the
just
concept, though,
vandalizing
of
property
Purge, don't
or
you?
Stealing TVs. They're hunting each other. This is very important because a lot of the characters later on act like they're dealing with a minor inconvenience instead of a citywide murder festival. Then we're introduced to the Sandin family. James Sandin is a wealthy businessman who made millions selling home security systems specifically designed for Purge night.
You love the idea of the purge. Yeah, you're crazy, Monstefi. You're actually wild. Like, what? I would hate the idea of a purge. That would be honestly the worst thing in the world. I don't understand why anyone would want a purge. I mean, on paper it sounds great. Just do anything you want. But in reality, it'd be actually disgusting. Yeah, I don't know how you'd commit a crime and then just go back to the next day dealing like everything's normal, everything's fine. I don't understand how that would come to pass in anybody's mind.
His wife Mary lives with him in a
Mary?
massive house, along with their children, Zoe and Charlie. On paper, these people should have some of the best odds of surviving in the entire country. They're rich, they have advanced security systems, and they live
People do that
in
now.
an
I mean, true, you're not
expensive
wrong.
neighborhood.
People now do kind of do that. People are very manipulative and misleading, and very good actors, you could say. So you're probably not wrong, Goof. But at least like there's some rules, like they can't kill me, and they can't just take everything. I mean, they could do that, but there's other steps. It's not like they just get to do it for fun or just because they can. You know what I'm saying? If they want, yeah. But still, there's some rules in place, isn't there? It's not like an actual purge where they can take it and it's like, oh, this guy took it. I know exactly who he is. Was it on Purge night, Kyle? Yeah, it was on Purge night. All right, good thing we could do, mate. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. You know what I'm saying?
However, unfortunately, we have to remember that having resources doesn't matter if nobody uses common sense. As the day goes on,
You're in a
we learn more
Romanian
about the
and
family.
steal every
Zoe
wallet.
is secretly dating a guy named Henry, who is
Henry, that's my dog.
significantly older than her, which her father obviously doesn't approve of. Meanwhile, Charlie spends his time using his remote-controlled camera named Timmy to observe the neighborhood and question the morality of the purge. Now, Charlie is probably
She's dating
the
my dog.
most
That's kind of
reasonable
wild.
person in the movie, as he actually recognizes that something is very wrong with the entire concept. The problem is that being morally right and being
Henry
smart
looking a little
aren't
different.
always the same thing. And let's just say that this is going to become very important later. Eventually, we see
Yo, don't be
Sam's
hitting more than
family
us.
having dinner, which leads us into lockdown. We see James
Oh,
looking
mate,
at
this
all
would be
of the
so
cameras
scary.
and making sure that everything is ready to go. Then we see the iconic purge warning come on the TV. Massive metal barriers seal the house from the outside.
Mate, this concept of a film, by the way, is incredible. Like, I know we've had other Purge films, but how have you not just followed the first film and just done it with a different family or a different type of people? I mean, I know they'd just be doing the same thing over and over again, but I love the concept. But now it's just gone crazy and very like political in the later films, which is fine. But this first Purge film was fantastic. I thought it was amazing.
World. At this point, the Sandins have basically won. However, with this, we get to one of the first major mistakes in the movie.
What?
Because once the purge began, Henry snuck into the Sandin house without permission. Now, think about how insane this is.
Yeah, that's
the family
dumb.
just locked themselves inside one of the most secure homes in America, and somehow nobody notices an extra person hiding inside. If I'm James, I'm conducting a complete sweep of the house before lockdown. Every room gets checked. Every
Damn straight.
closet gets checked. Every bathroom gets checked. Nobody enters unless I personally know they're supposed to be there. And if I was Henry, I simply wouldn't sneak in
my dog
without
doing?
permission, especially after knowing how I'm not the most liked person on James's end. Later, we see Charlie monitoring the neighborhood through James's camera system. While doing this, he spots a wounded homeless man running through the streets. The man is begging for help while an armed group chases him. This is where everything falls apart. The stranger screams that someone
What would you
is
actually
trying
do,
to
though?
kill him. Due to this, Charlie feels sorry for him and decides to help. Now, morally, I understand why Charlie does this. The guy is clearly terrified. Nobody wants to watch an innocent person get murdered right outside their home. But from a survival perspective, Charlie makes one of the biggest mistakes in the entire movie, because he literally proceeds to disable the security system and unlocks the house. Now, that's not simply opening a door.
Seriously though, if I was in that situation and I saw a guy, and how do you know he's homeless, by the way? Does he say he's homeless? I don't know. Either way, homeless, non-homeless, whatever. I ain't letting nobody in my house. No one's coming in anywhere near my house. No one's in. All the lights are off. Everything's gone. Okay, I know morals are good, right? And there'd be a part of me too that think, okay, but at the same time, he's an idiot anyway. Yeah, he's wounded, but why is he walking down the middle of the street? What's going on? Better luck next time. With what, Cathale? I ain't surviving the Purge, Cathale. I ain't surviving shit, mate. I would have to build some sort of crazy shelter underground where no one would find me. Where's the best place to go? If there was an actual Purge, where's the best place to go? Seriously. In a field somewhere? A remote field? Oh, you mean to him, you knobhead? Yeah, better luck next time. Okay, I agree. I agree with you, Cathale, yeah. I just don't understand why you'd let anybody in. You just wouldn't. Seriously. I'd be like, fuck off, mate. Exactly. You wouldn't even let them know you're in, would you? Or at least, wouldn't you just say, like, you know the area, maybe, I don't know, what would you do? Maybe you'd try and communicate with him, possibly, but then even that's like, oh, yeah, I don't know, you just leave it. You just honestly would leave it. You're not coming in. Go away. You're an idiot anyway for being out in the Purge. Yes, you might be homeless, but the last place I'd know when it's Purge night is being in any remote location or street. You just stay far away from everybody and everything. That's what I would do anyway. Like, if I was homeless, where would I go? In the Purge. In the Purge, obviously, it's all, what's it called? Theoretical. Where'd I go? Probably not in a city, not in a neighborhood. Certainly nowhere that anyone would see me. And the fact that I'm homeless, I've got kind of, not free reign, but I could just go anywhere to a degree. I could walk. And I'd know Purge week is Purge. I'd know when the Purge is. Yeah, he's just an idiot, man.
That's opening every door. The moment he does this, the Sandins lose the biggest advantage they had. If I was in Charlie's position, I'd be torn. But if I decided to help the man, there would be rules. First, he's searched for weapons. Then he's placed in one secured room. Then someone keeps an eye on him at all times. Instead, the family literally lets him wander off into a gigantic mansion where nobody knows where he is. And now they have an unknown stranger hiding somewhere in their house during Purge night. Fantastic. And as if things weren't already bad enough, Henry suddenly reveals himself. Apparently, he didn't sneak into the house to talk things out.
Bloody Henry, how's it going, D-Cox?
Carrying a gun. His plan.
Wait, what? Henry's. Wait, I didn't even know this in the film. What? Henry's a bad guy?
Because he doesn't approve of the relationship. Now, this right.
What the fuck? Hey. What? Henry's a dumb. Oh my god, this is all a mess, man. These are. Oh my god. How is he even living this nice house? This guy's dumb as shit. Seriously. I mean, even Henry's a knob. Like, what? Even if you don't like your girlfriend's dad for whatever reason, why are you gonna shoot him just because he doesn't approve? Like, what? Yeah, I gotta be careful with my dog, man.
Here might be the dumbest plan in the movie, which is saying a lot, as Henry waits until Purge night because murder is legal, then tries to shoot James. The problem is that James isn't defenseless. A struggle breaks out and James manages to heavily injure Henry. And of course, the entire situation only exists
because
she
sad?
Nobody
She tried to kill her dad
house before lockdown. One simple sweep could have prevented everything. Meanwhile, the stranger is still missing somewhere inside the mansion. The family proceeds to split up to look for the stranger, while James looks for Zoe. Now, if you've watched literally any horror movie ever made, or even any of my other videos, you know that splitting up never works. The Sandins have no idea who this stranger is. For all they know, he could be dangerous. And yet, they send different family members into different parts of a...
Is that Cersei Lannister? Is that Cersei Lannister?
Giant dark house. If I'm searching for somebody during the Purge, we're moving together.
Like it,
Nobody goes off alone. Nobody becomes a side quest. And while all this is happening, Charlie spots the people who were chasing the stranger. And that's when the real villains arrive. As a group of masked young adults walk up to the house. Their leader, known as the Polite Leader, might honestly be one of the creepiest characters in the entire franchise, as he speaks calmly and
the kid from the TED show
smiles constantly. He proceeds to politely explain that he wants to murder the homeless man and wants them to give the homeless man back to him, and if they comply, everyone inside the house gets to live. Clearly, the way he talks makes everything worse because he sounds completely normal while saying completely insane things.
Wait, that kid there? Oh, no, that kid.
Now, this is where the movie introduces its biggest moral dilemma. Do you sacrifice one stranger to save your family, or do you protect him and risk everybody? Personally, I think Charlie already made that decision when he let the man inside. The moment
he's He's
take
right.
responsibility
As soon as you let anybody in your house, you've made the decision. Especially if we're talking Purge. Obviously, we are. As soon as you let anybody in, they're on your team. They're on your side. But the problem they've got is, where is he? Where is he? Ah, this kid's ruined this whole family. Seriously.
For someone, abandoning them becomes a lot harder. Still, the family's hesitation wastes valuable time. If you're going to protect him, commit to protecting him. Instead, they spend half the movie arguing while heavily armed psychopaths stand outside preparing for war. After time passes and Charlie eventually finds the homeless man with Timmy, we see the polite leader warn James that they have equipment on the way, and they will get in if they don't turn in the homeless man.
He's kind of scary.
Instead of finding a way to leave, James and his family stayed in the mansion either way. Now, if I was them, I would do anything to try and find some sort of alternative exit, as at the end of the day, this is
that Cersei Lannister? Sorry, I need to figure this out. What's the film called? The Purge. It's just called The Purge. Film. 2013. Yeah, it is. That's Lannister, isn't it? Yeah, Game of Thrones. Wow, it actually is her. Lena Headey. And where's she from? Bermuda? Oh my god, she's from like a tiny island? Christ. Interesting. That is interesting.
A mansion, so there's lots of ways out. So at this point, I would just want me and my family
Satanist.
to leave immediately. But the mistakes aren't over yet, as eventually
I don't think
Zoe
Cersei...
decides to
Oh no, she is, isn't she? Reactor Bermuda Triangle when?
leave her current hiding spot and moves to Charlie's secret hideout, which the homeless man was hiding in. This would lead to the homeless man holding Zoe at gunpoint.
Just a mess.
Big mistake on Zoe's end. Because why would you leave a hiding spot you are already safe from the homeless man in, and literally risk your life knowing he's anywhere but the room you were currently in? Now, I'm gonna make this simple. If I was Zoe, I would have simply not left under any circumstance. Eventually though, James finally ties the homeless man up and prepares to give him back. However, stupidly enough, he would stall a bit too long, which led us to eventually seeing the attackers start destroying the security barriers. This is where James learns a very painful lesson. Security systems aren't magic. A lot of people treat safety equipment like it's invincible, but every defense has a breaking point, and the Sandins spent years trusting technology without having a backup plan. If I'm preparing for the Purge, my strategy isn't just hope the shutters hold. I want escape routes, emergency supplies, safe rooms, and multiple plans for multiple scenarios, because eventually every wall can break, and these walls do, as the attackers finally breach the house. And at this point, survival becomes the only objective. The family scatters throughout the mansion while the Purgers hunt them room by room. This section of the movie is basically one giant example of why bigger isn't always better, because sure, the mansion
Cersei doesn't die, does she?
but now there are endless hallways, staircases, rooms, and hiding spots. The attackers can appear from almost anywhere. Honestly, I'd rather...
Mate, there's some proper freaks. Like, seriously, why... I don't get it, man. Obviously, I know it's a film, but seriously, if there was an actual Purge, you think there'd be a woman dressed as a bunny running around with machetes? I don't know if that'd be the case. I don't know. That seems a bit weird to me. I mean, there is some messed up people out there, so you guys are probably right. I don't know. Seems a bit much to me.
Defend a small
no, it
cabin
does not.
than a giant mansion during the Purge. James starts fighting back and actually performs surprisingly well, as he manages to kill multiple attackers after one almost killed Charlie and manages to protect his family several other times. For the first time all night, someone is actively solving problems instead of creating them. But even here, mistakes happen, as James constantly leaves dangerous people behind without fully securing the area. One of the most important survival rules is never assuming a threat is neutralized until you're absolutely certain, and unfortunately, that rule comes back to haunt him. The polite leader eventually catches James and stabs him.
Oh,
it's one of those moments where a character survives 10 difficult situations only to lose because of one mistake.
Polite leader,
and
man.
Honestly, that's pretty realistic. Most survival situations aren't lost because of one giant failure. They're lost because of dozens of small mistakes stacking together. Meanwhile, Mary, Zoe, and Charlie continue trying to survive inside the house. The tension keeps building until suddenly it looks looks like help has arrived, as several neighbors show up carrying weapons and begin shooting at the attackers. For a few seconds, it genuinely feels like the family is saved, and this is exactly where I would have been suspicious, because these people didn't help with the attack.
I don't even remember that part of the film. Maybe I need to rewatch it. I can't remember that.
And didn't help while the family was being hunted, but suddenly they're here now? That's a huge red flag in my opinion. Sure enough, the movie reveals the truth, right? Well, it turns out that the neighbors weren't trying to save the Sandins. They actually wanted them dead. As it turns out, they actually resent James for becoming wealthy through his security business. They believe he profited from fear and looked down on him for it. So, instead of helping, they plan on murdering the entire family themselves, after the polite leader gets heroically taken down by Zoe. Honestly, this twist is one of the smartest
at least
parts
Zoe
of the
gets the
movie
kill,
because it shows that danger isn't always obvious. The masked killers were easy to identify, but these smiling neighbors were not. At this point, the Sandins are completely outnumbered. James is dying. The neighbors have guns. Everything seems hopeless. But then, someone we briefly forgot about returned. The stranger would return, as it turns out that he came back to save them, as he holds the neighbors at gunpoint.
Hey, let's go, homeless man!
Changes the situation. And this is actually one of my favorite moments because it proves something very important. Charlie made a reckless decision.
Okay, we're all fucking idiots then! We should let the homeless men in!
But Charlie also made a compassionate decision, and in the end, that compassion is the reason the family survives. The man they protected becomes the man who protects them. And honestly, this might be the smartest decision in the entire movie. In the end, we see everyone sitting down, waiting for the purge to end. However, of course, one neighbor eventually tries causing trouble again, but she's stopped before anything happens. And right after this, the purge alarm comes on, and the purge has officially ended. Now, this movie clearly had a...
That's crazy to me. Imagine just being sat there. The homeless guy says, right, all you fuckers are waiting until this is over. And you just sat there waiting for the timer to go. The timer goes, and then it's a case of, right, I'll be going back to my house across the street or next door, knowing that that person tried to kill you. How crazy is that? See, this is why the purge is just not... That is not right. That is weird.
A lot of reckless mistakes, but also a lot of luck involved. However, at the end of the day, all of this could have been avoided if the family made less dumb mistakes and just stayed quarantined between the four of them.
How would I survive the purge? I thought it was going to be like an actual different purge. I didn't think it would be the purge film and what I do differently. But it's fine.